I want to publicly thank Coach Bray and the University of Notre Dame. This game started at 11:20 Monday, and 48 hours and 40 minutes later, we were able to play through a hotel, bus, meals, testing protocols, and I want to thank them on behalf of just not our players, our entire university. The game, it's amazing. We got rebounded 19 rebounds, and you give them credit. We shoot 52%. We outscore from the three-point line. We hold them 40, we shoot 55. Game plan-wise, our approach mentally as well as physically, we had 1 day of preparation. Well, actually, we had Monday afternoon. Then we had so much film. And then we had a practice yesterday morning very quick as we got on the bus to come up. And we walked through in the hotel this morning because it was a noon tip. The encouragement I just felt in that locker room right now, on a scale of 1 to 10, the spirit in there right now would be 15. And what they're spirited about are the possibilities for this basketball team. Not downgrading Notre Dame. Let's look. We got 18 games left. 2 non-conference games, 16 conference games. We have had the fortunate opportunity to prepare against the likes of Duke, followed by 2 days later at Howard, followed by various setbacks of nobody's fault, to playing at Notre Dame, who started and played at all upperclassmen. They played all juniors and seniors. That opportunity, had we been practicing, you can't put a value on that. What if we practiced today at noon? We have to take 3 days off per NCAA. If we practice today at noon, is there any way we would even come close to simulating what we just went through for 40 minutes of competition? No way. And those players, they understand that. We could drive back to Louisville right now and go practice, and we would have a great practice. And I'm proud of them. I don't like it, but I'm proud of them.
All right, guys, kind of informal here. If you got a question, just feel free to unmute yourself and fire away.
Well, Scott, you were able to get CJ back in the lineup and able to see him play. Just impressions on his play. Played pretty well today, but just adding him back into the mix.
Well, he played pretty well. He went 5 for 9, 5 for 6 for 3, 4 assists, no turnovers, 1 rebound. His love for the game and his love for everything about the game. I don't mean just making shots. I mean interacting with a teammate, making a teammate better, seeing a teammate success. His love for the entire benefit of playing basketball is as great as anybody I've ever coached. It's amazing. His love for all, I don't mean just making shots. I mean drawing a charge, or a teammate draws a charge. So watch the film. He's going to be the first guy to go pick him up. And that's the kind of leadership he gives this whole team. It's contagious. It's contagious. We missed him.
How do you cut it to 3 with about 16 minutes left? Did you start dreaming a little bit? You start, thinking that this could really happen?
Brad, I thought at the under 12, it would go down to the last possession. At the under 12 timeout, I just told the team in the locker room, I thought at under 12, it would go down to the last possession. It's just a game of moments, and give them credit. A 3 here, a rebound here, a loose ball. But I really believe in our guys that at the under 12, and I said it in the huddle, that if we won that next war, it was going to go down to the last possession. Give them credit. I mean, you got to give them credit too. No, dreaming, no question. Come on, man. That's Bellarmine at Notre Dame. Eric was up here last year. I mean, you know, but the thought that in that locker room, they're inspired by this is good. It's good.
I got a couple things, Scotty. First, I'm one common theme in some of these games. You know, you've got it down to 3 against Duke with 2 minutes left in the first half. You got it down to 2 against Chattanooga. You're down 2 again in this game. You're down 2 with 3 minutes to play. That last little segment of the first half, is that something you got to conquer with this team?
Well, you know, we've already talked about it with the team. We have a missed free throw block out. We have 2 players that are 2 of the greatest winners I've ever coached. Like, we chart wins in practice. I don't care if it's a shooting drill. I don't care if it's team. We chart wins all year. 2 of the greatest winners I've ever coached both go after a loose ball and they come up with it, lay it in. That's 5 points right there. And yes, I mean, we've already talked about it. We were down 3, Duke scored 7 straight. I thought, you know, this game we go into halftime down 9. Should have been a 4 or 5 point game. Yes, it will be talked about, and already has been. But I'll tell you this: everybody on this Zoom knows me. And what do you think I talked about at halftime? I talked about those last 4 minutes, and Fred brought it up. Look at the way we responded at the start of the second half. As a coach, that's a great feeling because I was livid at halftime. And it wasn't anybody trying to do it. I was livid. And they responded. That, I know they're encouraged. That encourages me. But I'll tell you how much I believed in this team. One of the guys I really challenged at halftime, I proved it to him because I drew up in a timeout, a 3-point shot, and he knocked it down as pure as could be because I believe in him. Tell you right now, what I've taken from these 4 games that we've played, everybody in this program believes in each other. There is no doubt in my mind about that.
How would you compare these 2 trips? You get to make back-to-back trips up here and back-to-back years. Similar looking kind of scores, but different feeling game tonight, I thought. What did you think?
Yeah, I think our players' approach was much different. I mean, Fred brought it up. You know, when that thing started, under the first time out in the second half, then it got under 12. And I mean, there was no doubt. We wasn't just playing. We're playing to win the game against, one of the best programs in the country. And this came about, like I said, in literally 48 hours. And you know what I built on in the locker room? We're going to play every game now back-to-back days. January 1st, 2nd, and then every game we're going to play is going to be a Friday, Saturday. Okay, this quick turnaround, it's going to get even quicker.
Well, you mentioned that, Scott. How do you get them prepared for Transylvania coming New Year's Day?
Dominic, we believe in being consistent. We will not prepare one different from Transylvania as we did Notre Dame or Duke. Not one bit. You can ask every player on this team, did you prepare different for Transylvania than you do Duke? And it will be unanimous 100% no. Now, what we will prepare different is the approach to playing the back-to-back games. That's why we're playing at 7 o'clock and 5 o'clock, because that's exactly what we will do in our league. Yes.
You kind of touched on it a few minutes ago about the adjustment to playing full D1 schedule. How would you say you are adjusting to the newness of the season?
Well, in terms of the pandemic, Deuce, or just the Division One?
That and just being in Division One now in general, now that you've actually had a few games under your belt and everything.
We're teaching the game the same way, exactly the same. We think that, you know, like I've said many times, the first lesson you ever learn in coaching, there's more than one way to be successful. And we only know the way we play offensively, defensively. Nothing for us. Nothing's changed. It changes on the recruiting front. I've talked about that. But from a basketball standpoint, not one bit.
What about doing it during a pandemic?
Well, it's the same from everybody. And you just have to put your players first. And you have to, like last night, I got a text from our trainer that everybody was negative. We're ready to go. And you just breathe a sigh of relief because, and like right after this game, those kids, they're hurting right now. They're hurting. And I spent 4 minutes in there talking about the mandatory 3 days off we have to take. They have to literally go put themselves in a bubble. You know, they do. We all do. They're no different than anyone else. They have to go put themselves in a bubble for 3 days. They'll report back on Sunday night. We'll be ready to go.
Hey, anybody else?
Coach, I would think the way you guys have played in these games heading into conference play, when conference play does come up, that you all have a little bit more confidence now than you probably did when the season first started, when you got your conference slate.
Kendrick, I just told them, I don't care. I couldn't have prepared them better to go into the ASUN conference than I could go into Cameron and to go into Notre Dame. I don't care what practice plan I pulled out of the files. I don't care what drill. Nothing was going to be better than playing against two of the greatest programs in all of college basketball. And that's the luxury. Our players appreciate that. They don't like the outcome, but they appreciate it. That's going to make them better.